I was on the first episode of A Voice for Men on Tuesday, March 1st, 2011 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was great, and I even got to be on the air. What I said on the air was supposed to be detailed, but time was running and I wanted to give other people as much time to talk as possible. So I'll be explaining it all in detail here. But first, I gotta come to this point. Got to come to this point. First, the very first, and I mean absolute first caller. Oh man. She got shot down with what I'm gonna call a surface to air nuke. I mean it was ridiculous. Geez, wow. Wow, amazing. That you had to have been there and heard it to even get the full. Oh man. You could actually hear when she starts to scream, and well, I mean not literally scream, but you could almost hear when she sees the missile coming. She can't shake it. She starts to scream. I'll never forget her exact words. Oh wait, hold on, don't be hostile towards me. I'm like, oh man. And then click, man, the fireworks and light shows. It was awesome. I mean, instant classic. Instant classic. That. Oh man. Anyway, that it was crazy. It was crazy. Anyway, truth is, I felt bad for her. She didn't sound like one of those loud girls my age. She sounded like one of those old ladies that just wanted to be a part of the crowd. Just to say something, to say, oh wow, I was a part of the crowd. I'm like one of the young people. That's what she sounded like to me. She sounded like one of those old ladies that, her kids are gone, her husband's dead, everyone ignores her, and she's just in her house by herself all the days of her life. That's what she sounded like to me. Like she has no company or anything. But anyway, that's something different. Anyway, onward to the explanation. This will explain out the source of, or what will have to be the source of the men's movement's power. What is this power, you ask? The atom. What do I mean? Well, scientific technicals aside, the atom is the smallest unit, yet it can take down the universe. How? Because everything is made up of it. So if the atom is of inferior quality, then the universe is as well. How does that logic fuse to men? You're probably wondering. Well, if you look at all the other movements of the past, you will see that they all came together to make one giant monster. Feminism being the biggest of these monsters. As for the men's movement, in all of its components, the answer is simple. Each man acts as his own one-man force. Yeah, you heard me right. Acts as its own one-man force. Okay? Each man acts as his own one-man force. Rather than men as a whole in general coming together like a solid object so as to make an easy target for feminists and any other enemies we have out there, we should disperse like gas and become unstoppable like light. Okay? Meaning, we should do all of what the men's movement entails, including the principles of men going their own way, on an individual scale rather than a group. Hopefully you all are starting to see what I'm getting at with this. Okay? Where's the power in this, you might ask? The power comes from the fact that if men as individuals follow these strategies and tactics, no amount of firing at us from feminists or anyone else will be able to stop us. Okay, so you might be asking, what is a literal example of such power in the world? Okay? An example. Well, let's see. An example is, instead of men coming together as a group to say something like, we aren't going to pay for days, as if we're obligated to just because we're men and you're women. The power is simply don't do it. That's it. Yeah, you heard it right. Simply don't do it. Okay? Simply do not do it. That is the power. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to protest in the street, because when it comes down to it, this is in the 70s, and the days of picket signs and protesting in the street is over. No videos on YouTube, no news interviews in the media, etc. Just one silent attack after another. And with this pose, the enemies will see themselves becoming crippled like an invalid and not know why, as they can't see, hear, touch, or in any other way sense what's causing it. Okay? On the internet radio show, I use the term jiu-jitsu defense, but this is completely false, as we don't even have to use our energy, as we won't even have to use the enemy's power against them, though we certainly can and have in the past. This real power is a power that can be used whether they attack us or not. Okay? And hopefully you all are starting to see what I'm getting at. Okay, now here's where it gets to be even more fun than it is right now. If someone tells you, science say, studies show, statistics prove that the sky is green, yet you look outside your window and you see that the sky is black at night and blue in the day, then that person and their science/studies/statistics are wrong. Not real life. They are wrong. That same logic will reign when a significant amount of society changes from the use of our power, and feminists use their funded media via women's studies classes, Oprah, Tyra, Dr. Phil, Lifetime, Oxygen, etc., to pump out things like, I don't know, studies show men really do like what feminism has done, or statistics prove men prefer a woman that has a feminist mindset, or science says feminism in all of its manifestations is a benefit to men even more than women. Bullshit like that. How do you ask? Because once people accept that indoctrination and repeat it like parrots, yet they see that what they are faced with in real life isn't in accord with what the science says and the studies show and the statistics proves, then there creates confusion as to who is lying or not. That is the thing. It creates confusion as to who exactly is lying. Okay? Creates confusion as to who is lying or not. And as anyone on this planet above the age of 5 years old should know, life doesn't care if you think it's lying or not, because life holds all the power, not science or studies or statistics. And when it gets bad enough, and it will get bad enough with enough time, unless 2012 really is the end of the planet and not just the end of the world and of the world society as it is now, we men will get asked why. Now you're probably wondering by now, what the hell am I talking about? Hear me out. We will get asked why. Okay? Once all the stats come out and get shown to make no sense, all the studies come out and get shown that there was bias and corruption in them, all the science comes out and it gets shown that the science was a fraud, once all the energy of our enemies, including feminists, get drained to the point of absolute collapse, we wouldn't have broken a sweat or blinked an eye, because we use no energy when we use this power that I've invented that I'm talking about. Okay? When all the light shows, fireworks, and fanfare is over, we'll get asked one question out of desperation, because our enemies want to know before they are cleansed from existence how it was that they failed. They will ask why. What is the answer to that question? Well, I did have an answer right now, but I won't say what it is, as I don't know if that was the answer I would have given, if I gave any answer at all. when it really is over. And then there's the truth that it's my answer, and each man would have to give his own answer. So I'll leave it out. What is the answer? Can't say right now. But the question would be, why? Okay? And the fight will be over, and with feminists and all of its manifestations or mutations or transformations, waves, etc., gone forever. The truth about it told in history books, and I mean the entire truth, including not only the dark history behind feminism, the fact that it started with a French woman long before it hit the US, which most people don't know, okay? But also that it got funded by the Rockefellers for a reason that even Gloria Steinem at least hinted towards in not only an interview but also her book that had nothing to do with women's liberation from their made-up fantasy of male/patriarchal oppression. It really had nothing to do with that at all. That was just the front that they used, the lubrication that they used to make it slide down women's throats or slide elsewhere easily. Okay? And once all of that's done and true equality for men and women reign throughout the land, not just equality when it benefits women and then special laws when equality becomes a pain, then the men's movement can rest and become nothing more than a memory in the minds of men. Okay? Of course, we won't have to worry about the men's movement needing to make a return because women know what will happen if it ever has to rear its head again. And that by itself will keep them in line not to go off on these lesbian, anti-male, female supremacist crusades ever again, like what feminism has brought. Okay? That, I guarantee you, it will do. Now then, some side notes. A little bit of clarification for some stuff. Okay? 1. As far as I'm concerned, feminist is feminist, okay? I don't distinguish between first, second, third, fourth wave, radical, etc. To me, that's like telling a black man that there are different kinds of KKK and only the radical ones want to hang you, or saying to a Jew there are different kinds of Nazi and only the radical ones want to put you in an oven on 350 degrees for 60 minutes. 2. If we do get a chance to be in the media, we should take it. I'm simply saying, let them come to us. Don't go looking for them. Okay? Big difference. Okay. 3. Don't put women that are for men in the same group, because we aren't fighting women here. Whatever the demon that we are fighting wants to call themselves, you don't want to know what I want to call them. They aren't women, okay? These feminists are not women. Okay. Want to see some examples of women? Check out the comment section. Sooner or later, they, 4 in particular, will appear. And what else? What else? What else? What else? Number 4. Number 4. For you to be a man, you need to own and be in control of your own spine and balls. You also need to have control of your own mouth, too, not have somebody else control it. If you have to wonder, you're not a man. Wonder or not, you all know who you are and who I'm talking about. Okay? Simply put. Number 5. Either feminism will end or the planet will and all life on it. Either way, the men's movement isn't going to die out before one of those 2 outcomes comes to pass. And that's it for my little clarification piece. I hope you all understand what I was trying to say in this video regarding how easy it's going to be for this men's, or at least how easy it can be with no effort at all from men, for this men's movement to completely destroy this entire thing. It's going to happen simply. For it to have the most effect, it needs to happen quietly, silently, to where they don't see or hear it coming, they can't smell it coming, they can't sense it coming. Now you're probably wondering, can't feminists use this exact same thing against us? No, not really. In theory they could, but the fact is, one, they've already destroyed themselves and their names so badly that they have essentially become null and void to a certain extent. And number two, men are so used to being in the background and in the shadows and being unheard that for them to do something like this, which results in them not intentionally being heard, will be no problem for them. If you notice, feminists can't shut up. Men can. Or at least they know when to. And they know when to talk. Feminists don't. So it also wouldn't work for them, because there needs to be a certain level of logic and honor and control that they just don't have. What else? Another thing is no, I'm sorry, they're just too loud. You're just way too loud. Feminists have about as much silence as a megaphone being used. They cannot be quiet, and that's why you can see them and hear them coming a mile away. Whereas something like this, they know we're here, but they won't be able to see us. As long as we incorporate or practice what I just said as far as the power, they know we're here. They know we exist. They know that we're somewhere in existence, but they won't be able to see or hear us, and they won't be able to take us down. See, you can take down an entire organization. You can take down an entire movement when it's consolidated into one target. But when it's individual people, the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you kill off all men. And good luck getting that tap. Actually, no, not good luck. That's not going to happen. Okay? So as long as there are men here, the movement's here. Individual basis. Rather than building up the atoms to make one giant structure, keep the atoms separate. They'll have just as much effect. Anyway, I hope that explains what I was trying to say in the internet radio show. You all will catch me. I'm under the same username there that I am here. In fact, this is probably the username that I use for pretty much everything. So whenever you see this, chances are it's me. Sometimes it might be somebody using my account. Most times not. But I'm there. I'm going to be there every Tuesday. So, sometimes I'll call in. Sometimes I won't. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I hope that explains it out.